Well, hello all. So, is there any doubt that there's a climate catastrophe happening on the planet Earth? If you were in a political position, wouldn't one of your top priorities be to put a good environmental program into place? You would think so. If party in question was progressive or even slightly on the left, that's what they would go for. So when I look at the news today, let's go over to the board and I'll show you what I mean. I look and it looks like we have another high CO2 reading for May of 2019. This is the highest seasonal peak record in 61 years. In other words, from one year to another is what they're talking about here. The peak value of CO2 was 3.5 parts per million, higher than just last year's CO2 peak. And carbon dioxide peaked at 414.7 parts per million in May officially. We saw higher readings than that, almost up into the 420 reading, about 418 we saw one reading of that. It's questionable whether volcanic gases may have interfered. I don't know. But also on the emergency chart here is this methane and what's going on with that. Let's look at the graph closely and we'll see that it has peaked this year at 1865.4 parts per billion. That's up 9.2 parts per billion. Now you may say, well, those are very small numbers, parts per billion, but we are talking on an entire global scale. That's a huge number on that type of scale, and that will increase the temperature that the biosphere has to suffer through. And that increase is just going up higher and higher, faster and faster. The rate at which it climbs is getting steeper all the time. So that brings me to my first point. Why, here in the U.S., are the Democrats doing this? Let's go back over to the board. Outrage at the Democrats and the DNC, as if there's any difference, but there really isn't. They will not host a climate-specific presidential debate in the primaries in 2019. They don't consider climate change important. The Democrats promised health care and legislation like that. Drug control, remember? This is the same kind of thing. Say one thing, do something else. But this chart pretty much should tell you exactly where we should be going. And it's not with the Democrats or the Republicans. Any questions?